What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I am bringing you a Genesys profile for Eldlich, the Golden Lord. Now this is relatively a pure version. Another version I think could do really well in Genesys is with like Odeon, Man with the Mark, Toonkeeper, whichever way you want to call it, just because it gives you more direct access to the Apophis trap card that we're going to be using in this deck, but it also gives you a little bit more of a normal summon and everything else. The benefit of not having a normal summon is it does mean that you can main deck or side deck a Lava Golem, which is going to be very useful. So I'm going to take you through the list, show you what we've got, explain why we've got it, and go from there. So with that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. Starting off with 3 of Eldlich, the Golden Lord. Now, there's a couple of different reasons you want to be maxing out on this guy. Number 1, DD Crow is 0 points. DD Crow is running rampant in Genesys format. The other benefit is if you do hard open it, it gives you the ability to be able to send some trap cards and spell cards technically to the graveyard, summon itself down, or send a card and everything else in between. One of the best trap cards, which is now costing 7 points apiece, but well worth it in a deck like this, is the Dragon's Mind. Being able to use Eldlich the Golden Lord, send in Dragon's Mind, and then resetting the Dragon's Mind with Eldlich the Golden Lord with an original attack of 2500 is absolutely insane. The benefit that your Dragon's Mind says with original attack is I say insane twice, but like it's incredible for the pure fact that you would bump this up to 3500. Usually that would mean Dragon's Mind's useless, but because it counts original attack, you're still in a really good position that's going to give you a lot of advantage. Carrying on with the rest of the Eldlich cards, we've got 3 Sanguine, special summon your Golden Lord directly from the deck. So you want to get as many ways possible to get access to your Golden Lord. 3 Conquistador, the destruction effect of this card, so summon it as a monster and then pop one of your opponent's cards, really important. Hequero is the banish from the graveyard, so again, another reason like DD Crow running rampant, you need cards that, you know, you can banish from your opponent's graveyard, but it means that DD Crow being a 0 point card, that graveyard style decks that want to revive or target cards in the graveyard to bring them back can be very susceptible. 1 Elixir of the Glorious Golden Land, so special summon it as either a level 10 normal monster, zombie, which is really important because it'll be 1500 attack and 2800 defense, and if you control Eldlich the Golden Lord, you return 1 monster on the field to the hand, or you get to set one of your banished Golden Lands or Elixir spells and traps, only use each effect once per turn. Then we've got 1 Golden Land Forever, just a searchable kind of counter trap card, could be very good in a slower Genesys style format. 3 Cursed Eldlands. I'm playing the 1 Elixir of the Black Awakening. You don't have to, and I am slightly tempted to play the quick play one. The benefit of the quick play one is it lets you chain to like your opponent's DD Crow, and that's what I'm trying to be very cautious of. But I feel that DD Crows are probably going to be more sided than they are going to be mained, and it just gives that option when they go DD Crow, you go called chain and summon back. Whereas the benefit of the Black Awakening is it lets you get it directly from the deck as well, so it's giving you the benefit of both. 3 Lord of the Heavenly Prisons. Again, I feel that some breakers are a bit of a premium, like Harpy's Feather Duster and Lightning Storm, but it doesn't mean stuff like Twin Twisters aren't going to be an issue. It also means that the person that decides to play Cosmic Cyclone over Twin Twisters is not going to care about your Lord of the Heavenly Prison protecting all your spells and traps, but Lord of the Heavenly Prison being a level 10, protects all your spells and traps, and then on top of that can summon itself down when a spell or trap is activated to then set you any spell or trap directly from the deck. It means that even though your pot of extravagance is 10 points, you can actually get direct access to it. It does give you the benefit or curiosity to play Pot of Greed as well, maybe even Graceful Charity if you want to be extra spicy. But the points allocation of the deck is currently 98 points. So with those 98 points, you don't have much flexibility, and it's like you either sacrifice your 2 Pot of Extravagance for 1 Pot of Greed, which I believe actually, what is Pot of Greed? Is Pot of Greed 20 points? I think Pot of Greed is higher than that actually. Yeah, Pot of Greed is 30 points. So you'd have to sacrifice both your extravagances and then something else in order to play Pot of Greed, where buying 2 extravagances is absolutely fine in a deck like this. Then into 3 Dragon's Mind, like this card's insane. You want to see this because you don't care if you send it because you reset it and you go again and again and again, which is what really does give the edge to this deck. I felt that it's one of the ones you could afford to main deck. Yes, if you wanted something a bit more generic, you could also use the 7 points that this takes per copy to play something like a Solemn Judgment. But I felt that because this covers all bases and you're more times than not going to have an Eldlich the Golden Lord in rotation, you could max out on your Dragon's Mind and not really worry. Then we got 3 Ghost Bell. This is purely in here to stop getting DD Crowed. Like, you're trying to protect for DD Crow. You can also use it as a disruption effect. That is absolutely fine. But also trying to have that extra layer of protection can be very important. Free Dry Unlock Bird, you could upgrade this to a Multi Full Loss if you wanted to, but I felt, again, Dry Unlock Bird's one of them cards, you could side it if you needed to, but it's just one of them ones that in the current Genesys format, while these are 5 points apiece, it is very, very disruptive against your opponent. You honestly don't care about getting hit with a full loss, so you're not using this to counter that. You're using it to really slow down the Genesys format and slow down your opponent's kind of access to their deck. Then we've got the one Wandering Titan of Tartarus. The reason we're playing the Wandering Titan of Tartarus is you can actually send it from deck to the grave alongside your Golden Lord if you wanted to, or instead of your Golden Lord with Delta of Invitation that we're playing 3 copies of. So when this guy's activated, you send a level 5 or higher zombie from the deck to the grave. So you can either send Wandering Titan of Tartarus or you can send your Eldlich the Golden Lord. On top of that as well is if a zombie monster is on the field, you special on a Delta token, level 5. And if a monster or monsters is added to your graveyard, from the graveyard to the hand, while this guy's in the grave, you get to add it back to the hand. So again, you could do that with the Eldlich the Golden Lord because you're going to add it back to the hand and summon. And then the reason that you're playing the Wandering Titan of Tartarus is if it's sent from the deck to the grave, you send as many cards you control as possible to the grave. And if you do special summon this card, then send cards your opponent controls to the graveyard up to the number sent to the grave by this effect. Neither player can activate monster effects in response to this effect activation. And if this card is sent to the grave except during damage step, you send one card from the hand, except through the deck. You send one card from the hand to the grave to send a card on the field to the grave. Only use one effect per turn, but the idea is at the base minimum, if you were to just go second, activate Delta of Invitation, send, I say invitation, but anyway, use Delta, send your Tartarus from deck to grave. You would then have to send your Delta, which is fine, bring back your Tartarus, and you send one of your opponent's cards to the grave. Like, it's just a quick 1-for-1 swap. But then if you wanted to, and you wanted to send like Eldlichs because you want to use their graveyard effects, you could also do that as well. So it's a really nice kind of clearer if you wanted to. And then we've got 2 Pot of Extravagance, so this is like your draw card for the deck. I want to try and control the extra deck a little bit more, which is why Pot of Greed is semi-tempting. And you could also consider a Super Polymerization, but again, it's finding those point allocation. Pot of Extravagance is absolutely fine. It depends on when you're trying to use it. If it's one of those follow-ups, once you've gone for your extra deck, or you know what cards in the extra deck you actually want to get access to, it does give you a little bit more flexibility as well. Then for the final track cards, we've got 3 Torrential Tribute, backed up by 2 Apophis the Swamp Deity. Like, you're already playing continuous monsters that are treated as track cards, so being able to utilize your Apophis the Swamp Deity is just going to give you that extra layer of protection. Whether your opponent does activate a Cosmic Cyclone or whether they activate a Lightning Storm, Harpy Silver Duster, maybe even a Raigeki, while you don't have Lord of the Heavenly Prisons, mainly for your spells and traps, then the Raigeki, you have a way to negate it and stop it. So that's it for the entire main deck. I believe the main deck is 71 points, if my maths is correct. Yep, 71 points. So that gives you a bit more flexibility, and you'll see in the extra deck where the final points come into play. So we're playing 2 Fallen Angel of the Golden Land and 1 Eldlich the Mad Golden Lord. You could play 2 Eldlich the Mad Golden Lord if you wanted to, but the chances are you're going to resolve the first Fallen Angel of the Golden Land to get you into your Mad Lord, and then on the follow-up, if you make a second Fallen Angel, you just get Eldlich the Golden Lord from the deck. So that's going to give you a bit more flex. I'm going to move these to the end. Then the other cards you might actually summon will be your Constellar Pallades. So this is 2 of your trap cards, so Conquistador and Aquero, and then it gives you that ability to return cards, which can be quite useful. And then for our rank 10s, this is where 20 points comes into play in the Varudras, the Final Bringer of the End Times. You don't have to play it, but being able to get an Omni Negate in a particular format like Genesys can be game-changing. To do so, you are going to need to get 2 level 10s on the field, which can be a little bit awkward or more of a follow-up. So if you wanted to save yourself 20 points and then play Pot of Greed, you can do. The other rank 10s that we're playing that cost 0 points is your number 35 Ravenous Tarantula. This is in here because all monsters you control gain attack attack and defense equal to the difference between your life points and your opponent's. And while this card has XZs, each time your opponent specials a monster, inflicts 600 damage to your opponent. Once returned detached material from this card, destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to this card. So the benefit of something like this is if your opponent does like deal a huge amount of damage on you and your life points are at such a disparity, you actually go into Tarantula, and then that will completely flip the script, because then it means that you're increasing the attack of all of your Eldlich the Golden Lords, and you can basically turn them into like a one-punch game ender. Speaking of like technical game enders, we do play the 1 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max, so sometimes you attack with 2 Golden Lords, main phase 2, overlay Gustav Max does for the final damage you need. We've got the 1 number 8 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Super Dora. This is just going to be like a bit of a towers that your opponent needs to deal with. So if it comes down to towers versus towers, you can go for a 4K tower monster that's going to make it very awkward for your opponent to deal with. And then you can upgrade either of these two into your Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Libelle, which is going to make it 4k. It can also increase his attack and then just gets to attack, and this can be one of your game enders as well. Then the final cards will come down from the side deck. So we're playing the one Elder Entity Ints and your Garura. For the synchros, we've got the Wind Pegasus, Agnista, and Igmaster Packbit. This could very easily become a long, but all of these are 0 points apart from the Tis, which is 7 points. And then for the XZs, we've got the one Sky Blaster and we've got the one Adjugator. So, if you haven't guessed already, these are going to be coming off of the back of Ultimate Slayer. And Ultimate Slayer is one of the ones where you've got the flex in the side deck, the extra deck and the side deck, and it kind of helps you deal with certain extra deck monsters that might stop you getting to your Golden Lord or anything else you might need. Moving on to the side deck, so we did play quite a few go second cards because Eldlich is a control style deck, so you want to be going first. So you need to make sure you've got go second cards in order to help you back up and then clear fields and move on from there. So for one of our best go second cards is free Lava Golem. You could play a Kaiju if you want to, but you're not using your normal summon on any of your monsters, so you actually have a lot of free space. Now usually what I would do with this one is you could put Lava Golems in place of your Lord of the Heavenly Prisons, if you want to be less defensive. You could also consider something like the Tartarus as a side out. Like, it gives you a bit more flex, but being able to go, cool, draw phase, standby phase, main phase, Lava Golem, clear off double towers, can be really, really important for you. Ultimate Slayer to deal with cards that aren't towers that can be targeted. So your XZs, your opponent's XZs, fusions, and synchros. Twin Twisters, because sometimes putting some cards in the grave is not the end of the world, but this can very easily be Cosmic Cyclone. Free Skullmeister, and then free DD Crow, just 0 point hand traps. You know, really isn't anything out of the standard of the normal of that one. Like, the more unique ones for this particular one is the fact you can play Lava Golem, but this is basically just your Kaiju. Most side decks in the current game will have like 1 or 2 changes for the Genesys format. Other than that, it will be relatively cookie cutter, straightforward of what you need, which I think is absolutely fine. I quite like that, to be fair. Anyway, that is it for the entire profile. Hopefully this has given you a bit of an idea on a Genesys update for Eldlich if you are looking to do it. I quite like it. I think it's quite a nice control style deck, and it really does give Eldlich another wind. And what I mean by that is Eldlich used to be like a main meta deck, which is crazy. And now it's become, I wouldn't say an underdog, but it's now become like a deck that could be really, really good in Genesys. It gives you a lot of control factors, but it also can be very, very aggressive. Like, once they get going and once their resources start to loop around, you can be in a bit of trouble. So, yeah, make sure you got your DD Crows if you're going to be facing Eldlich. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.